Hey everybody, I'm Meagan Hatcher-Mays, the Director of Democracy Policy at Indivisible, and this is the third episode of COURTBUSTERS, a video series I'm doing on our federal courts. Now, we've already talked about how critical the courts are to a functioning democracy, and we've talked about the outsized influence that conservative dark money groups have over the judicial nominations process, especially under Republican presidents. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how the nomination process actually works and why Donald Trump has been able to confirm so many judges. And it all comes back to an old Senate procedure called the blue slip. So, as you know, Donald Trump has successfully confirmed 200 judges to the federal bench. He hit number 200 this week, in fact, and that is so many judges. You might be wondering, how is it even possible that there were 200 judicial vacancies to fill? Didn't Barack Obama fill any vacancies during his presidency? That is a very good question. Yes, Obama was able to confirm some judges, but it was extremely difficult, and that's where the blue slip comes in. Now, the blue slip is literally a blue piece of paper that senators are given when someone is nominated to be a federal judge in their home state. So like Marco Rubio will get blue slips for nominees in Florida, Kamala Harris will get blue slips for nominees in California, and so on and so forth. Now, the blue slip is not a law, it's not in law, it's not in the Constitution, it's just a Senate tradition to do this. Basically, how it works is that the home state senators will take the blue slip of paper and write down whether or not they support the nominee for their home state. Then return the slip to the Judiciary Committee, which is the committee that confirms all the judges. Now, if both home state senators approve of the nominee, they return their blue slip so the nominee can actually be considered. If just one of the two home state senators does not approve of the nominee, the senator can withhold their blue slip and the nominee will not be considered. So you might be starting to see how the blue slip process can be weaponized. During the Obama administration, it became especially clear in states that had two Republican senators. They just both withhold their blue slips and obstruct every nominee. Easy, right? But blue slips were also problematic even in states that had one Democratic senator and one Republican senator. In situations like that, like under Obama, for example, the Republican home state senator would use their blue slip as a veto over all of Obama's judicial nominees from their state. Even if the Democratic senator gave back their blue slip, the nominee would effectively be blocked from consideration. One home state senator had all that power. And here's kind of the worst part. Democrats had control of the Senate for the first part of Obama's presidency, yet for some reason they insisted on binding themselves to the blue slip tradition, knowing that Republicans were likely going to use it to obstruct Obama's nominees. I don't know why. I don't know why you would govern by handing that much power to the minority, just to adhere to a tradition which, again, is not a law and is not in the Constitution. But Senate Democrats didn't get rid of the blue slips. They decided to follow the rules, which of course allowed Republicans to block Obama's nominees using their blue slips. And that's one of the reasons why there were so many judicial vacancies on the federal bench when Obama left office. Now, the other reason, of course, is that Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans really understand how critical the courts are. So they spent most of their time in power just blanket obstructing all of Obama's judges, just refusing to acknowledge that they were there, including his nominee, of course, to replace the late Justice Scalia on the Supreme Court, Merrick Garland. But back to blue slips. Obviously, Republicans really relished using them to block Obama's judicial nominees, but they were less enthusiastic about the use of blue slips when Democrats in the Senate started to use them to block Donald Trump's nominees. So Republicans just stopped following the blue slip tradition. They didn't make like a big announcement, formally get rid of it. They just sort of sneakily stopped following it, which means we now have judges, again, many of whom are unqualified, who are being confirmed to lifetime appointments without the support of their home state senators. So what's the solution to this problem? It might surprise you to learn that the solution is not bring back the blue slip. Donald Trump and Senate Republicans have destroyed a number of Democratic norms, but this norm, the blue slip norm, is a norm that needs to stay destroyed. One home state senator should not have the power to sink a judicial nomination, especially when it's clear that the reasoning behind it is just to keep the seat open so the next president can fill it. That doesn't work. That's not good for democracy. It's a purely political process that hasn't done much more than prevent a lot of good judges from being confirmed. Blue slips will be abused in the future, obviously, and nobody has time for that when our judiciary is in as steep a crisis as it is now. So that's an easy reform that the Senate can adopt going forward. Get rid of the blue slip, keep it gone. Right? Easy. Make sure that the process operates more fairly. And we're going to be talking about that reform, plus a lot more court reforms, at our Fight Back for Fair Courts rally, which is taking place next Tuesday, June 30th, 8 o'clock Eastern, which we are hosting with our friends at Take Back the Court and Demand Justice. We are going to be joined by an incredible lineup of speakers, including Senator Elizabeth Warren, Representative Ilhan Omar, Representative Ro Khanna, comedian W. Kamau Bell, activist and absolute legend Alicia Garza, Pod Save America's Dan Pfeiffer, so many people, so many more that I haven't mentioned here. We're so excited for this event. It's called the Fight Back for Fair Courts Rally, and it's taking place on Tuesday, so make sure you RSVP right now. I will be hosting it, so I will see you there. We're going to be talking about the problems facing the courts and some of the solutions to those problems, so make sure you tune in. Like I said, I will be there. So looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday for the Fight Back for Fair Courts rally. Thanks so much, and we will chat soon.